I'm Cookie, and welcome back to another episode of the Untold Origins, the series where I talk a little bit about the backstories of one or multiple minor characters from my series Legends. In today's episode, I'll be talking about Ivy. Born in the south side of the Evergreen Forest, Ivy had a fairly normal childhood. She has many siblings, which is standard for toxic cheetahs, though she wasn't particularly close to any of them. Instead, she would hang out by herself or with her mothers, Cyan and Oleander. She looked up to her mothers a lot. Cyan is a skilled hunter. With her speed and agility, it's very rare for her that she won't return to the den without prey. Oleander, meanwhile, is a great fighter. She keeps the territory safe from trespassers. The venom she makes is extremely potent. One sting from her tail is almost a death sentence for most enchanted animals. Cyan and Oleander would take turns watching the cubs and scouting the territory, so Ivy got plenty of time to spend with both of them. Though neither are her biological mothers, she doesn't know a life outside of them and consider them her true family. All she wanted to do was to make them proud. One day, Mama, I'm gonna be a great hunter just like you. I'm sure you will. And I will be a great fighter like Mother. I'll tell Oleander that when she gets back. I'm sure she'll be delighted to have an extra set of paws helping her out. When she was old enough, her mother started taking her and her siblings out for hunting and fighting lessons. Ivy made sure to keep her focus on them. As a result, she picked up the necessary skills very quickly. She was a natural hunter, and though her fighting skills needed some work, Oleander was there to help guide her. One area that she lacked was social skills. Also, she felt embarrassed since in her mind, making friends should be easy, so she never told her mothers about this issue. Instead, she tried to put up an act of being solitary, as she was in her childhood, to make it seem like nothing was wrong. Eventually, she started taking long walks at night to clear her head. On one of these nights, she noticed a fireman hunting, or at least trying to. Ivy carefully watched her failed attempts until she revealed herself. The two of them talked for a bit before Ivy introduced herself. Then the fireman introduced herself as Lava. From then on, the two of them would meet up at night so Ivy could teach Lava how to hunt and basic self-defense. She also used this opportunity to better her social skills and learn how to actually make friends. Things were going well until the accident. Lava had chased a squirrel onto the road and was almost hit by a car, but thanks to Ivy's speed, she was pushed to safety. However, she was hit instead. The blow had knocked her out, and she woke up in a healer's den a few days later. Huh? Where am I? Who are you? A healer. Now stay down, I'll fetch you some water and a bite to eat. But I'm fine. No, you need to rest. Now, take this. It took a while for Ivy to remember what had happened, and immediately asked the healer about Lava. Thankfully, she was fine, but the healer informed her that she was the one who took the hit. Ivy thought she was fine, albeit in a lot of pain, especially in her leg, only to be told that she didn't have one anymore. Ivy was angry and confused as to why it couldn't be saved. The healer explained that the leg was too damaged and would never fully heal. The best thing she could do was to cut it off. Ivy remained silent for a while, not touching her food. Eventually, the healer introduced herself as Heather, instructed her to eat again, then stepped out for a moment. Not long later, Cyan, Oleander, and Ivy's siblings arrived. They took turns talking to Ivy before they left, though Cyan stayed behind. She and Oleander would take turns keeping Ivy company and helping her recover. Lava was also told the news and would visit Ivy a lot. She spent a lot of time in Heather's den, where over time, the shock of losing her leg slowly wore off. And though she was assured that once she had recovered, she could return to her normal life, part of Ivy still had doubts. So she decided to keep herself distracted. When it was just her and Heather in the den, she would help Heather gather and organize herbs, learning about what each one does. When animals came in, she even started treating mild ailments with Heather. Ivy, can you apply some moss on that wound while I fetch some marigolds? Already ahead of you. Over time, Ivy started to enjoy healing, more so than hunting and fighting. She loved learning about different herbs, helping animals made her feel happy, and it gave her the balance of socializing and alone time that she had been looking for. Even when she had finished her recovery, she still found herself drawn back to the healer's den and would help out Heather whenever she could. Eventually, Heather asked Ivy if she could be her apprentice. Heather was getting on in years, but the animals in the forest still needed a healer around, and Ivy would be perfect for the job. Ivy was thrilled, but also hesitant because of what her mothers would think. So she told them the news and asked what they thought. So, what do you guys think of me becoming a healer? I think that's wonderful. You won't be disappointed? I mean, I worked so hard to be like you both to make you proud. We're always proud of you, Ivy, no matter what path you choose. If this makes you happy, then we'll support you. From then on, Ivy officially started her training. When it was completed, she officially became a healer and worked alongside Heather. She made sure to take breaks to hunt and spend time with her family, Lava, and Lava's made obsidian. Also, she took over as Lava's main healer, helping her friend when her sickness spiked. Eventually, Ivy found a mate of her own, Tox, and had 2 cubs, Spotty and Dottie. Though her life could be hard with juggling healing duties, raising cubs, and having her own personal time, she wouldn't have it any other way. And that's all I have for this video. Ivy will appear in the main series, though she's extremely minor in the plot. Her daughters are a little more relevant, but are still also minor characters, so I'll probably do an Untold Stories episode on them eventually. Anyway, make sure to comment below what you thought of her backstory. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye!